Before we start, I just wanted to say congratulations to Mahmoud for being next year's DCS President. Very excited for him and his team, and I know good things will come, so I'll probably be talking to him throughout the year and see what's going on, but very proud of you. So good luck.
Thanks so much.
No problem. Does anyone else want to say anything to Mahmoud, or do you want to get started? Alright, let's do it. To get us started, Mo's going to take it away.
Yeah, I hope you guys had an opportunity to read through my platform on the event or watch the video. But I think we're at a peak at DeGroote. We've had a couple of great years strung together, and I hope to take it a step further this year. I'm excited to put together a great team, and I think DeGroote's going in great directions as a school, and on the other side, the DCS is going in great ways as well. So I definitely see growth on both sides, and I'm sure. Within the next year, we'll be able to take us a step further by pushing both the academic side and the extracurriculars to really put us where we need to be to compete with other schools. I look forward to all your questions. I'm glad you all came out. It shows a lot of interest on your parts, and that's one of the things that I'm hoping to increase throughout the years. Or throughout the year, rather, not the years. I'm not going to stay here for that long. I'll go over it just in my platform. A couple of things that I had discussed. One of the things is the pride, presence, and unity in the school. I think one of the things that we're lacking is obviously as a school business, we should be really involved within the school. We should have an attachment to the actual physical building, and more so to our faculty, students, and so on. And that's something that obviously needs to be bridged in the next couple of years. So in the next year, if we can do a big jump in that'd be fantastic. We're going to start that out hopefully with Welcome Week, really make our presence a whole lot bigger there, see what we can do to promote, I guess, the commerce vibe. Other than that, really attach students from day one to the campus. And then on the internal side, really connect the DCS to the APO, the CBCD, faculty, whatever we can inside the school so that there's a seamless transition between all of us, and that students can get the experience from all three sides without having to lose anything. So that's one of the big things over the next year. There's a couple of new initiatives that are going to be coming out. Hopefully, I'd like to bring in the Commerce Student Rewards Card, bring in some of our close sponsors, and have them attached where we can give discounts to our students. We're an undergraduate of about 2,200 students, so we should be able to offer a lot to our students, and hopefully in the next year we can do that. There's a bunch of great ideas. Obviously, I want to hear everything you guys have to say, so whenever you have the chance, please stop me in the halls, shoot me a message anywhere, Facebook, whatever it may be. I'm always interested in hearing it. And I'm sure the exec over the next couple of days, once they get picked over the next weeks, we'll have great ideas as well, so we'll be able to bring that in. Yeah, so I'm excited for your questions.
Okay, and yeah, guys, this is as much as for you guys as it is for Mahmoud. So he wants to hear as much peer and student feedback as he can get, because really he's acting on behalf of all of you as well as the student body. So if you guys don't like how something's done, or you have a great idea, feel free to pipe up and let him know, because he's here for you guys. So, nice easy one to get her going.
I'll read off
who are
the
you?
side.
Yeah, sure. Who are you on a personal level? So I was just thinking you could, I don't know, let people get to know you without regards to the position.
Reminds me of my brief speed dating interval. No, on a personal level, I'm a second-year student, 19 years old. I'm from Mississauga, Ontario. I was born outside of Canada, lived all around the world, which I think is fantastic. I had a great opportunity as a kid to really see a lot of the world, and so it sort of helped me with, I guess, open-mindedness, stuff like that. So I'm always up for new experiences, new opportunities. I'm always excited to get involved in anything. We'll start at where I was born. No. Really, high school I was really involved. The reason I was involved, I have a twin sister. I don't know if anyone knows that, and she's a big push in my life. She's so much better than me at everything. So she constantly motivated me to do a whole lot more. She pushed me a lot in high school, and then when I came to university, I decided I wanted to get involved. So I took on a couple of roles. I started out with first-year council. Absolutely fantastic for next year's first years. Definitely get involved. It's an incredible opportunity to be a part of. And I was fortunate enough to join our JDC Central team as a vice president, and that was a fantastic opportunity. I got to meet a lot of upper years and go to Halifax, which was unreal. Other than that, I think I began working with faculty, worked on a curriculum change proposal with Kelvin Ewald, a graduate from last year. So I got to see the inner workings of DeGroote. In my second year, I decided I wanted to take a little bit of bigger role, so I became a vice president of corporate relations here. And started to build myself that way. I really enjoy going out, stuff like that, so that role really fit me well. On a more personal level, I love wings. I love hanging out all the time. I play the guitar, not well, but I do play it. What else? I love sports. I play intramural volleyball, poorly as well. So I'm sort of well-rounded, but not well. It's good-rounded. I don't know, we'll have to figure out a name for that in the next year. But I definitely like to be involved. I like to do as much as I can, and I hope to one day be good at everything I do. So, yeah.
Awesome. I'm sure you will.
Hopefully.
So you kind of alluded to this in your platform points and also when you were talking about your past involvement and things like that, but was just wondering why you want to become involved with the DCS President position particularly. Why the President role?
Yeah, I think I had a big debate within myself to talk about why I guess why I should become DCS President, what I could bring to the table. I think I am young. A lot of people will certainly say that, but at the same time, I think I've had the opportunity to work with external partners, and I've had the opportunity to work with internal partners here at DeGroote. And I think that blend of both things is what we need to keep moving forward. We have exceptional programs inside the school that are run by the DCS, and there's certain areas that we need to improve externally. Other than that, we also need to, I guess, mesh things between the schools. So I think with my experiences and the positions that I've had, I'm best suited to take these roles on, and I can sort of bridge the gaps that we need to bridge. So really looking at the role of president, that sort of fit the job description, and I thought if anything, if I want to continue giving to the school, this would be the right position for me to take on and really have the biggest impact.
Awesome. So as you know, you have 1 year in the position, maybe 2, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. So what is the one thing that you want to leave behind at the end of the year?
Fair enough. The building, structurally, would be fantastic. No, I'd want to leave a legacy. I think the one issue we have as the DCS is year to year we're losing the connection between old exec and new exec. And this year is fantastic because we were able to sort of grow what we had. And certainly there was growth before that, but I think I'd like to leave initiatives that are either growing or start new initiatives that have a lot of potential. So one of the big things I think in terms of external things, and when I fully took the role as president, is to really put us out there to employers and so on to secure ourselves as one of the better business schools. On the internal side, obviously I'd like to grow the first year orientation program that was set up by Conrad and his team, and take that a step further. But I obviously would love to have a legacy and something more than just a name or a campaign slogan, but more so something that people can come to the school and see the difference. So if we can really ramp up everything that we're doing, that would be fantastic. But on the other side, it would be just to improve the little things that we have here, because we do have a lot of potential.
Awesome. Okay, so that kind of, I guess, led into that question, but this is a tough one, sorry.
Yeah,
but we won't take any offense to it, but what were you unhappy about with this year's team? And what are you going to do to change that?
Where do I start? No, Lindsay. No, I think this year's team was fantastic. The personalities meshed together in an incredible fashion. I can't imagine a team this year that would have worked better. So I absolutely love this year's team. That's a really tough one. You're gonna make a lot of people unhappy with me with this.
Part of the job.
What was I unhappy with this year's team? You know, I don't think there really is anything big that I was unhappy with. I don't think I can say I was unhappy. I was really proud of the accomplishments that we made this year. I think in terms of spots for opportunity, I do think that there are greater opportunities that we can go after. But I can't say that there's anything that we've done this year that was wrong or a step back by any means. So really, I can't say I was unhappy at all, but I can say that through your positions and your involvement, we have created more opportunities that I hopefully can take advantage of in the next year.
Awesome. So with thoughts on leadership, you're going to have a team, you're going to be managing a team of some peers. What kind of style of leadership are you going to take, and how are you going to get your team to do the vision that you'd like to achieve?
Fair. I think in many ways I like to think I'm a grassroots leader. I think the benefit of the DCS is to help whoever's in it. And so by no means should one person have a greater value than anyone else. I think I guess as Teal would say, the synergy of everyone's work is better than one person's, I forget what she says, but she's going to get me after that. But no, I think my leadership style would be to really have everyone contribute as much as possible. I think the best way we can move forward is by everyone giving as much as they can, and I think everyone can contribute equally. So really, if I can motivate them as a leader to do that, and if I can do my part and lead by example and sort of inspire excellence, that's a high school throwback motto there. But I think that would be best. That would be best. So I hope to bring that to the future team for sure.
So we talked on our team in particular. We've talked a lot about culture, and we've tried to establish a more inclusive culture amongst the years here at DeGroote. And I just wanted to know what your thoughts on strengths and weaknesses of the culture was here at DeGroote, and if you could, how would you change that, or would you make any changes?
Fair. I've had an opportunity to sit with a lot of alumni, and I think what they've said to me and what I agree with is we have a culture at DeGroote of working hard. You see a lot of students leave this school and perform extremely well. We're not given anything. But we work extremely hard to get to where we want to be. And it goes for everyone who's involved. You notice people who are extremely hardworking everywhere they go, regardless of if it's academics or extracurriculars. There's a passion that you can't really find anywhere else. And there's a community in the same way you can't find anywhere else. So I think that's a huge strength that we have, other than obviously the exorbitant amount of opportunities we give to students. An opportunity I'd say is, sometimes we get lost in providing a lot for a small group of students. There's obviously an extremely dedicated and talented group of students that are always out and performing, and this number is between 100 and perhaps 200. And we really do need to increase that. So if we can get 500 or 600 students to get involved, which is obviously a very ambitious goal, but that would be the right thing to have, because that is our undergraduate, right? So the more people we can get contributing to the school is extremely important. That's a huge opportunity. I'd like to implement, perhaps some strategies to bring people on as a first-comer strategy. So perhaps put some incentives out there for students who haven't been a part of us before to get more involved. Those are all ideas that are going to be developed over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, definitely. I think those would be our strengths and opportunities. Obviously, there's others, but those are the two that stick up most to me.
Great. So that also kind of led into this one. I think that this question has been asked many times before, but are you familiar with a SWOT analysis?
I believe I am.
Strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. For all of the first years who might not have come across that yet.
It's okay. I learned it last week. No, I didn't. Strengths.
Last semester.
Yeah. Strengths. Like I said, I think we have a fantastic culture and community here that you can't see anywhere. I think what you'll notice as the DCS, we provide a lot of opportunities that other schools don't at particularly a low sort of what's the term for it? What's the money that we collect, Lindsay?
Levies.
Levies. At a low levy rate. She's a great CFO.
Thank you.
And so by providing that much with such a small amount, you can see that we're contributing as much as possible with what we have, which is great. So that's definitely a huge strength that we Opportunities, I definitely see a huge opportunity in our external involvement. This year I had the privilege of working with our VP Marketing and his media team on our sponsorship package, and we were able to sort of push our external side a little bit farther than it has been before, and I think that's a huge opportunity in the future, especially if on the student side we can bring in employers or bring in companies to really find our talent. That'd be fantastic. Weaknesses, like I said, I think we're sort of limited by how many students want to contribute and how many students want to be involved. So one of the big things I'm looking to do over the next years is, or the next year is to get more students involved. So that's a question I pose to the student body itself as well. How would you like us to approach you, and where do you see opportunities for you to get involved? What would you like to see be created? And hopefully we can do that for you. You know, I'm determined to get more people involved in what we do. Our culture is really important. There's no reason why we should be less involved than other faculties or not large contributors to our society or community. And threats. I think the threats here are the ever-changing market. I think as a commerce society we need to provide the opportunities for you guys to go out and say in interviews, you know what, this is what I did, and for employers to say, that's fantastic, we can hire someone who has experience in this. So the threat is that the market's ever changing. We need to be on top of the ball to reflect what's going on so that we can implement stuff so that you guys can get the best experience possible. So going into it, we have to obviously look at what employers are asking for so that we can put that in the DCS for hiring and whatever else, so that when you come on board and work with us for a year or multiple years, whatever, maybe you can leave and say, well, I'm ready to work at any company because I have had that backing at school. Yeah.
Awesome. So before this came about, somebody in the crowd wanted me to ask you, and I'm not gonna say who, but they want to know what the purpose of a date.
You make me my mom's gonna watch this. My idea of a perfect date. That's very interesting. You should go out for ice cream, come back to my place, watch a movie. This is my cool guy stance. No, I don't know. Hanging out at the DCS office, getting some paperwork done, and then I can't answer this seriously. This is gonna be.
You don't have to.
Yeah, so hanging out at the DCS office, if you want to share a bottle of sparkling wine juice. My favorite's grape or peach, whatever you like. And then we could listen to Songza till the late hours of the night, order some lava pizza, wake up in the morning. I think that would be my ideal date, actually. Some lava pizza, a bottle of sparkling peach juice in the DCS office. Yeah.
Okay, that lady, now you know. And then, if anyone, and I hope that there are questions from the crowd, this would be the perfect time to ask them. And again, Mahmoud is looking to hear from you guys just so that he can kind of organize what he wants to do in the year to come and make sure that he's serving you guys well.
Definitely, yeah.
I remember in Frosh Week, you gave a good speech about getting people involved, and you have a bunch of new first years coming to school, and I know you just asked us to give you feedback, but how would you like to approach that situation, and how would you want to get kids involved and get them motivated, because you have all these first years don't really know like everything out there and what there is to do. Luckily I got involved with first year council, but how do you want to approach getting first years involved?
Yeah, I think that's a huge challenge, obviously, but I think more and more first years want to get involved. This year we saw more turnout than ever for first year council applications. So I think on our side it relies on how many opportunities we can offer. And obviously we do need to offer more opportunities for first years and all years on the whole, because I think more and more students do want to contribute to the school. So that's a growth side on our part. How many more conferences can we offer? That sort of thing. But I think more importantly than that, we need to have a culture right from the onset. So the first day, first year students touch the ground here, I want them to feel like they are degreed students. You know, I think we stand behind the MAC name a whole lot more than we need to. We're a great school, so you know, there's lessons to be learned from our competitors, other business schools in the area. So I think we sat down in the exec meeting, we talked about different things. I think Welcome Week's going to be one of those opportunities where we want to link people directly to our Facebook page and our Commerce Society page and introduce them to myself and others. I think for Welcome Week, our green suit presence is ever growing, and that's going to only become bigger and better over the next couple of years. And on our side, it is offering those opportunities. So whatever we can do, whether it be a mixer to start out with, or at Clubs Fest have greater clubs there, or provide students with the opportunities that they're looking for, like employment or career fairs or stuff like that, then that's I think the places where we'd grow to that. I hope that answers the
Yeah.
Sweet.
We've got like more and more interns coming back and saying like what you learn in class really isn't all that applicable to on-the-job training or on-the-job performance. And you talked about how you want more kind of hands-on, and when you go into an interview you can say, okay, here's what I did. Perfect, that's really applicable. What would you say for changing the curriculum to reflect that?
Yeah, I know one of the biggest challenges was that in our first year we didn't have a lot of commerce classes. So luckily next year they're going to be inputting accounting and OB into first year. They're going to be taking out one PAO and comp sci. So the classes offered in first year are going to be a lot more geared towards creating better commerce students, which is fantastic. And 1E03 is still going to stay in there. I think the integration of perhaps competition would be fantastic, really get that spirit out there. I think learning needs to revolve around case-based learning, because real life is case by case. If we can talk to deans and so on to get that implemented, I'd love to do that. I know one of the things that I've been looking at recently is seeing what we can do with online lectures and podcasts and so on, because I think that's an opportunity for growth. Other faculties in McMaster have podcasts for almost all their classes. So there's no reason why our students should go home and not be able to review directly from podcasts. So I think there's a lot of opportunities of growth in our curriculum, but that process is extremely long term and unfortunately really slow. There's so many levels at McMaster, but obviously that is one step we take. On our side, we'd implement things like performance reviews, look at what companies are doing in terms of hiring, firing, what their training is like, what sort of aspects are best to get students prepared. And I don't want people to look at this as a student-run organization, but more as a company within within DeGroote rather, that runs its internal affairs. Because I think the more we self-identify as a corporation, the more we'll feel that we're acting in the real world, as opposed to being in the classroom or just a volunteer organization. Nora?
You said that you're thinking of making this more into a corporation, and you mentioned about integrating with the DeGroote School of Business itself and the administrative side, not just the academic side. What are some examples of things that you'll be doing to help facilitate that integration?
Well, I think the first thing I wanted to do, and this was, I mentioned this to my fellow teammates this year, was I'd like to sit down with the dean, the associate deans, area chairs as soon as I get the opportunity, and really talk to them about my vision over the next 5 years, where I see the DCS going, see where they think the school's going, and really merge those two. On the same side, I want to sit down with the advancement team at DeGroote, who's constantly working to improve what's going on here and what will happen in the future, and CBCD on the whole and the APO on the whole, to understand where we should go. DeGroote just hired a fantastic gentleman for the student director position, and he'll also help us integrate with the rest of the school. So I think by setting up those meetings, really have them understand where we're going and understand where they're going, we can better plan for the future and set ourselves up so that we're more successful as a school as opposed to just separate sections. Any other questions? Something harder. That's no more dates? No more date questions?
Any questions?
Do you like long walks on the beach?
Oh, I love long walks on the beach. I like the Hamilton Lakes a little bit better.
Long
That's
walks
just my
down Coots?
Yeah, long walks down Coots. Scott?
Here's a really hard question I proposed not earlier. If you
Sure.
had $100 to spend at McDonald's, what would you purchase?
That's a great question, and you know what? That is a tough one because nobody really has $100 going to McDonald's. So I'd have to start out with a McDouble. But I think that's an appetizer sort of thing. I'd have to get the poutine. That's my Canadian pride showing. I've heard McCafe has extended their line of products, so I'd have to have a dessert. Perhaps an apple pie at the end. I hear 2 for $1.38.
You only have about $10 now.
Oh, so I got $90 more. I think I'll buy food for the rest of the line. I'm not sure what I'd do actually. That's a great question, but I think I'd have to share. So you're all welcome to come with me to McDonald's after this.
And are there any more questions that might be related to the presidential position? If not, Mahmoud's going to be hanging out for a bit at the end, and you guys can come up to him and ask questions on a personal level, or following this at any time. So, unless there are any questions, Riley?
So with the demands of president, your job, school, and everything like that, how do you keep yourself organized?
That's a great question. I've only very recently learned how to organize myself. I think it's a huge challenge that I think every student has to learn at one point or another, and it's not easy at all. So I have a schedule up on my wall, when to do laundry, when to go to classes, what times I have work, and that sort of keeps me grounded. I think the most important thing is really just allocating time and not overstressing yourself or stretching yourself too thin. So at the end of the day, whenever I find an opportunity that I'd love to go to but I can't, it's unfortunate, but at the same time I have to say, you know, there's bigger and better things waiting for me where I am. So, that being said, I don't think that there's any reason why you shouldn't stop yourself from going from something. I find that the more I involve myself in stuff, the more I'm focused on everything I have on my plate. So, you know, taking on these roles have made me a better student, a better worker, a better husband, and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah. So I've really the more I've been able to put on my plate, the more it's made me perform. Matt?
I know there's going to be a lot more detail next Thursday, but just for someone who's working on their application now to be a part of the exec team, if you're attempting to go for more than one position, would you want more than one application? Like, how do you want that laid out? I know the more details are going to be next Thursday, just if you want to touch on it.
Yeah. I think open-mindedness is the greatest thing that you can come into this with. So I think if you are applying for one position, and we're discussing the whole like policies and so on of it now, but if you are applying for one position, you have another position in mind, bring that up in your interview. Definitely, I mean, there is no one sweet spot, right? You can perform anywhere really. So I think anyone can have the opportunity to do multiple things, and you can approach me and tell me, hey, you know, I'm thinking of doing this or that, whoever it may be, and I'd be more than happy to look at that, right? So I think don't limit yourself to anything. I think there is opportunities to be anywhere a part of this exam.
On a more serious note this time,
Fair.
a lot of people seem to like get stressed out around like exam time. What's something like you do for yourself to like de-stress and sort of collect yourself if you're having like a hard time and prepare?
Fair. I think that's a great point. I have a terrible habit of buying frozen foods, and I just sort of stay in my room and eat as much frozen pizza as I can, which is terrible. But I think one of the great things is the DCS started this year an initiative to sort of get students at the library eating cookies and drinking coffee and stuff like that. I think getting out of the house is the most important thing. So if you can come to the group, and if we can set up like study groups and stuff like that here, grab a coffee, eat some cookies, and sit down and study, that would be the best thing. Sitting at home alone eating frozen pizza quite doesn't cut it. so I think it definitely is beneficial to get out and yeah, I think that's something that I try and do. At least have a walk if I'm gonna stay at home. So alone, Coots Paradise.
Just to clarify, do you cook that pizza first, or do you eat it frozen?
That's a great question. I've noticed that you don't have to cook the pizza. No, I usually put it at 425 for 15 to 20 minutes. It's the recommended time and heat.
Good question.
Fair.
6 hours.
Anything else? Okay then, I think that we'll wrap it up on that.
Awesome.
I just wanted to say a few things real quick. As Matt was mentioning before, the exec applications are now out. They're due on the 28th of January. So if you're interested in applying for the team, come talk to Mahmoud, come talk to myself or any of the executive team now, and we can give you an idea of where you might want to fit in or what the position exactly entails. And as Matt had asked, if you want to go for more than one position, that's fine as well. Just indicate it on the application that you're considering more than one. On the 23rd, we have a constitution amendment, well, several amendments actually, that we're trying to vote in. So if you guys could come out on the 23rd and hear what we want to change, that would be awesome. And being in there for attendance would also really help us out. We want to change some of the executive structure as well as some of the laws that our society runs on. So the 23rd to look out for, the 28th, and then that's about it for me. So thanks for coming out, and if you have any questions again for me or Mahmoud or any of the team, feel free to ask at any point. And other than that, thanks for coming out, Mahmoud.
See you on the 23rd.